moves from side to side. Come on, it's time to go do the Mario. Do the Marios.
Up first for the weapons, I just went with the most basic hammer I could find. This is pretty much the blacksmith's hammer, and you can pick that up pretty easily. I also put the affinity to heavy, that way it'll scale off of strength as much as possible. And that will allow us to maximize our damage output as much as possible. And for that weapon art on the hammer, you want that ground slam. That is Mario's butt slam. That's all we're doing. Boom, 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 butt slamming it. Since Mario will actually do some punching and kicking, I decided to add a Cestus on, that way he's allowed to punch. I also just added the Flame of the Red Mane skill on there, just to keep up with some of the fire motif from Mario, and Flame of the Red Mane is just incredibly strong. Now yes, I do have a seal on, that it's going to allow us to use the Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength, and pump up our attack power and damage considerably. You can use any seal you want, but I would advise using one that would actually weigh 0, considering the talismans that we're using. But first, let's get into the armor. And the one you really want is the Juvenile Scholar Cap. This is probably the closest you're going to get to looking like Mario's hat. For the chest piece and the pants, I just put on the prisoner clothes. I mean, he's a plumber, and if he's in the capital, he's going to need some grimy clothes to wear if he's going to be in those kind of sewers. I also just threw on some astrologer gloves. Those are just white gloves. Considering he wears white gloves, hey, best I could find, but I hope he doesn't get them dirty. For those pants, I thought the prisoner trousers came out the best, and you know what? I thought it brought it all together pretty well. Now onto the talismans, and I put on the blue dancer charm considering my equip load was actually pretty low, and the lower it is, the more attack power you'll have. So if you want, start taking off some more clothes if you want to raise that damage up a little bit more. I also threw on that Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, boosting my physical damage negation. Along with the crystal tier that I put in my flask and the Golden Vow Incantation, your defense goes up quite considerably, even though you're wearing some pretty light armor. I actually liked using the Crimson Sea Talisman, that was just boosting the restoration of my Flask of Crimson Tears, and that would allow me to use 2 flasks to be able to do a full heal instead of probably about 3 with the level of health that I have. If you don't mind sipping on your cup and getting a little bit less health, you can put on that Crimson Amber Medallion as well and just raise your total HP up quite significantly. Now, I mean, if you don't mind taking some more damage, then you can replace the Dragon Crest Great Shield with a Claw Talisman, and that Claw Talisman is going to give you just increased jump attacks. And since Mario is Jumpman, hey, might as well increase that damage on jump attacks. But for that last talisman, you can't go wrong with the Shard of Alexander, boosting the attack power of your skills. That ground slam, your butt slam, is going to do quite a bit more damage as long as you have this on. Now for the Flask of Wonders physique, I actually liked using the Stone Barb Crack tier quite a bit, increasing that likelihood I'm going to break the enemy's stances and just be able to riposte or front stab, back stab, whatever on a boss after probably about 2 or 3 butt stomps. That second one, I went with the Opaline Hard tier, just boosting up my damage negation quite significantly, along with the Golden Vow, and if you have the Great Shield Talisman on, your damage negation is actually quite high. You'd be surprised with how many butt stomps you can get away with before you actually need to back out and heal. For that first incantation, I put on the Flame Sling, that is Mario's just basic fireball, and that's the only reason I actually have it under the build. It doesn't actually do a whole lot of damage, but it's fun. I also put on that Surge of Flame, and since Mario can actually just shoot out some fire, might as well put it in there, right? It works. You want that Golden Vow and that Flame Grant Me Strength Incantation, boosting your attack and your defense. I would say these are probably 2 of the best incantations you can use as a melee class. Now onto the Great Rune, just go with Godric's Great Rune. Plus 5 points in every stat, you can't beat it yet. Maybe a DLC Great Rune might, but so far, none other can compare.
Do the Marios!
For the stats, Vigor is up to 50, giving me about 1700 base health. Pretty good, pretty good. Take a lot of hits with that amount of health.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Mind is up at 25, giving me 130 FP. Good amount of butt stops before I actually have to flask back up. Endurance, I put at 19. I had about 9 extra points left over, so I might as well throw it into there and give myself some more stamina. Strength is up at 80, and that's going to max out our damage. Faith, you want to put it up to that 25 to use that Golden Vial, and Flame grant me strength. Trust me, it's worth it to put on that extra attack power, especially if you're not going to use any other affinity besides physical attack damage. And for Dexterity, Intelligence, and Arcane, don't even touch. How to use this build? Well, just jump, just like Jumpman would have done. Okay! Really, you just want to get yourself prepped up, get your setup and buffs all ready, and once you're good to go, just start butt slamming them for the most part. That butt slam is going to do considerate damage for how stupid it is. What's actually really good about the ground slam is when you start out, you lower yourself to the ground, which a boss attack could end up missing you, in which case you'll end up jumping up, dodging probably another attack, and then slamming them right into their dumb face. Be quite a useful trick if you can get that timing down quite well. Otherwise, really, you're just going to be jumping and using that hammer. Basically, I would never use the R1 for the weapon, just use the R2. Even if you're on the ground, if you're jumping, just R2, max out that damage. Plus, it also does a good hammer slam instead of just a swipe. I think you'll find that this build is actually fun. Stupid, but it is actually quite fun. And with that, I hope you liked the build. Let me know in the comments below what other characters I should do, and I'll do my best to make them viable.